Hey everybody, we wanted to tell you about this amazing trip that we took to Porto.
Yes, you may know it as Porto. If this place is not on your vacation destination, then it should be,
It definitely needs to be.
right? And we are going to tell you why. But first, we're going to introduce ourselves. Hey, y'all, my name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to Our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, we talk about travel and retiring abroad. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early.
Early is a good thing.
Yes. And we were late bloomers and got to go to,
Wait a minute, I wasn't a bloomer.
He's a boomer. We've got to go to some amazing places like Porto, like Aveiro up in the northern part of Portugal, and we're going to tell you all about it. But first, if you're new to our channel, then you might not know about 8 years ago, Rick and I had a wake-up call. We looked at our money and it looked crazy. But about 4 years ago, we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. If we can do that, you can do it too. All right. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, please subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you know every single time that we go live. And if you like this content, hit the like button so that YouTube knows what to send you. All right. So let's get started. Mm-hmm. First off, the one thing that I liked about Porto is it has a chill vibe, right?
Yeah.
It's way less crowded than places like Lisboa or Lisbon and Barcelona, right? So it's kind of like more relaxed. So if you are the type of person who wants a more relaxed trip, this may be the place for you.
Yeah, I mean, you can actually walk around and enjoy the sights without feeling overwhelmed by tourists.
Yeah. Because sometimes here in Lisbon, it can get shoulder to shoulder in some of the places, in some of the tourist spots, it can get shoulder to shoulder. So, but we never have run into that in Porto.
No.
Right?
No. And speaking of stunning sights, I mean, the architecture is like amazing.
Yeah.
Nothing short of amazing.
Yeah.
It is just, it's got that vibe.
Yeah, it's picture postcard perfect. And there are these beautiful, colorful buildings, right? With tile facades. Everywhere you look, that's what you see. And if you are fortunate enough to go down to the Ribeira, or it looks like Ribeira district, that's the area that's right along the Douro River. And I'm telling you, from the Douro River, whether you're on the Gaia side or the Porto side, and you look up and you see this amazing old architecture. As a matter of fact, Coimbra is one of the oldest cities here in Portugal because Lisbon had an earthquake and fire about 300 years ago, something like that. And so a lot of those old buildings were destroyed. So Porto is actually has older buildings by and large than Lisbon.
And actually, talking about the architecture, the bridge. So they have this fantastic bridge, which you'll see in different pictures and videos and stuff like that. And it was actually built by the guy that built the Eiffel Tower. I can't tell you his first name,
but we know what his last name is Eiffel. As a matter of fact, we were blessed enough to go to Girona, Spain. There's another video. We will put that in a link right there on Girona, Spain. And they also have a bridge that was designed by the person who built the Eiffel Tower, right? And so this man was very prolific and built beautiful, stunning, I guess, built spaces is all I can say.
Hey, the food, oh my goodness. There is a famous, well, I don't know if it's world renowned.
In our world, it is.
In our world, it definitely is. And they serve, if not the best bifana, I hope I'm saying that right,
yes,
sandwich in all of Europe.
Yeah, this sandwich, it is so good, and it is a Portuguese staple. It's like a pork roast that's been marinating, and they serve it on a bun, dripping with all kind of au juice type and grease. It's so good. Oh my God.
See, that
it is so good.
Now my mouth is watering.
Right? And Astros, if you go to Porto, it is right across the street from the train station.
As soon as you walk out the train station, go across the street and have you a bifana.
Exactly. And then if you're a seafood person, the seafood there in Porto is super duper fresh. Right? I'm not a seafood person, so I don't know. I don't be eating them.
I be eating some seafood.
But you cannot leave there, especially if you're there in June, without trying the grilled sardines.
Because I ask people all the time, what do you think of the sardines? And the first thing they always say is, I don't like sardines in it. And I'm not talking about those sardines. I'm talking about the full-size sardines.
They're like this big. And they're grilled. The whole thing is grilled on like a barbecue style over coal, over fire. And you're supposed to kind of eat it with your hands and your fork and just peel the meat away from the bone. Again, I don't like seafood, so I ain't trying it. But everyone seems to think they're good and love them.
So
and
I gotta say this.
What's that?
Put a sardine on the ball, baby.
This ain't Australia. All right. So the food in Porto is amazing. Be sure to check out Astros for a mouth-watering bifana if you eat pork. They have other sandwiches there as well, which I'm sure are great. But for the best bifana in all of Portugal is Astros across the street from the Porto train station.
In the States, I always buy port wine. It's a dessert wine. It's sweet and it's high in alcohol content. I think like 19% or more.
Or more. It can get up. I've seen some that was like 30 something.
Not port wine if it's not from Porto.
Right. Just like it's not champagne if it's not from Champagne, France.
That's right.
So, but as a dessert wine, it is probably the best is made here in Portugal.
All the wineries for those port wines are in the Douro Valley.
And whether you're on the Gaia side looking at Porto or on the Porto side, y'all, this is just a walk away. This is a 10-minute walk across the bridge. That's all it is. Both sides have wine cellars. You can do tastings. You can do a wine tour to see how they're manufactured at some of the places. Rick and I went to one of the wine tables. Actually, last year, y'all did wine tasting at one of the port wine places, manufacturers. And then this year we did a tasting at another one. Whew, y'all. It was absolutely lovely. It's affordable.
Oh, yes.
Maybe more affordable than you would find like in France or in Italy or something like that. And this is something that you must do. Even if you are not a wine person, to see how it's manufactured and all of that and to go through the tour is definitely a treat.
Definitely.
Wouldn't you say?
Don't miss out on that.
Yeah.
Pretty much everywhere we've went throughout this country so far, you always run into good, friendly, helpful, kind people.
Yeah. The locals in Porto are very, very nice. And some say nicer than they are in Lisbon. Lisbon is more crowded. It's got more of a Manhattan feel. But I'm going to say the Portuguese people, by and large, are very kind. We keep saying this. We have been in instances either seen or personally have had people go out of their way to help, right? And it's no different in Porto. They're very, very kind. And it's funny because I was talking to one of the younger people there who was serving us. And she was saying, oh, yeah, we're much nicer here than they are in Lisbon. You should move up here.
I mean, and the Uber driver that we had that one
Oh,
time.
yes.
Oh man, he was fantastic. The
Yes.
conversation that we got to have with him, and just sharing all the information about his town, his city.
Yeah. And his country. And so if you get into an Uber or a Bolt or a ride share like that, and you're fortunate enough to get a Portuguese driver who can speak English, let them tell you where the places to go, because they love telling you about their city, about their country, where to find all of the special treats and things like that. And we always get to find out something new when we're in those situations.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Right?
And if you're into history and culture, there's so much to explore.
Yes. Now, I still haven't seen it, y'all. And the last time we were there, just a couple of weeks ago, I said this is something that I was going to do. And I don't know why we didn't do it.
I think it was in that different realm of Harry Potterismness. So we couldn't see it. It was invisible, probably right in front of us.
So you all know the Livraria Lelo bookstore, otherwise known as the Harry Potter bookstore, is the most beautiful bookstore in the world, and it's over 200 years old. It's like stepping into a fairy tale, y'all. But there's also cool museums and other historic sites, cathedrals, and all of that. It is just beautiful, and the old city center of Porto. Everywhere you look, there is something to see. And around every corner, there's a new site, and you're just amazed by the history that you see just walking down the street.
So, we always tend to walk everywhere we go.
Yeah.
Through these international streets. But you don't have to walk, because transportation is everywhere you look.
Yes.
And it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to take an Uber, Bolt, or to take the train.
Yep. Yeah. You can take a train down to the neighboring little town of Aveiro or Aveiro. They call that the Venice of Portugal. It's just 30 minutes on the train, 20 minutes, depending on if you get the fast train or the slow train. And the cost is nominal, €3 to €5, something like that. Maybe 10 round trip. So that is a great day trip if you are going to Porto. And we will be doing another video just on Aveiro at a later date. But pretty much you can walk everywhere. Now, the old town is hilly, but if you've got that cool breeze coming off of the Douro River, then you'll be fine. You really will be fine. And then there's funiculars, like the trams that will take you up some of the hills and things like that. So there's river cruises that'll take you up and down the river. You can either do it in an old-fashioned looking like pirate boat or something like that, or you can do it on more modern. They even have cruises that will take you all the way up the valley to the wineries as well.
Yes.
So, Porto is really easy to get around. You can walk the bridge from Porto to Gaia in 10 minutes max, and that's walking slowly. It's not that big of a bridge, but it's an easy walk, and enjoy the other side as well, which is also very, very big.
And it has two sections. So you have a lower section.
Yeah.
That cars and stuff can go across.
Yeah.
And people and bicycles.
Yes.
And then you have a higher section on the top of it that
I think the train goes.
The train goes.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
So seriously, Porto has a little bit of everything for everybody.
Great food.
Great food.
Amazing wine.
Amazing wine.
Beautiful scenery. Right?
I mean, you stand some places and the views are just unbelievable.
Yeah. And a laid back vibe. I mean, we had such a fantastic time there. I know you will too. So if you're thinking about your next trip and it's Portugal, put Porto on the list. I'm sure if you have questions about Portugal, if you have questions about moving abroad or moving to Portugal or getting your finances straight, We have some free resources in the description below. We have a Move Abroad Toolkit that is in the description below, and you can always book a call, all of that. And please, if you like this information, like our video. See ya.
See ya.